Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 3. We'll present the result of our discuss for English Office course about Office Service part welcoming visitors. First, let me introduce the member of Group 3. Starting with me, Chandri Arsiasian Violeta, Afifa Nurhayana, Aini Margiastuti, Alifa Nurul Fitriya, Embun Tiara Pramesti, and Reni Andriani. The subchapter of material that we will discuss is: first, definition of office guest; second, types of office guests; third, how to welcoming visitors to office; fourth, definition of office service; fifth, various of office service; and last, service problem and strategies. Definition of office guest. A guest is someone who visits a place, other people, or to a banquet. Guest can also refer to as a person or group who wants to visit a company or agency to personal or group interest. According to Versanto, a guest is a guest of an organization, agency, institution, or company, namely a person, either as an official envoy of an institution or as a person who visit other institution for official or personal interest. According to Sumarto and Dwiantara, a guest is an organization or company, can be a person or a group of people with one or more interests, be it their own interests as individuals or the interests of others, including the interests of certain organization because they are representative of the organization. An office guest is a person or group who comes to a company for a specific purpose.
Type of office guest. First, guest by appointment. Guest by appointment meaning this guest is the expected guest. When the leader is ready to meet him, the secretary can invite guests to come in to meet the leader. There's two things that the secretary should do. First, don't talk to the guest too long unless the guest asks. Let's say hello first and ask what they need. Also, if the guest is in the lobby and is served by receptionist, the secretary must come to pick him up at the lobby. After knowing who the guest was, the secretary introduced herself. 2. Unknown guests. First of all, you must ask what they need, polite, and you can tell them to sit down. First, while you ask your boss. If guests can be excited, please tell them to sit down and wait their turn to meet your boss. If a guest is rejected, give a good reason and offer to make an appointment in advance. Invite guests to fill out the guest form completely, starting the reason why you are asking for it. 3. Guests who reserve to tell their needs. Even if the guest insists, treat it polite and kindly. Be tactical to priority guest reception according to the needs, office situation, and busy leadership. 4. Guests or customers who come without an agreement. If the person in question enters when the boss is in a meeting, greet and say that the boss is on a meeting or other guests. 5. Family member or boss friend. Stay friendly and polite to the guests and ask what they need. Also suggest them to making an appointment in advance. 6. Unwanted guest. If he is still waiting even though you have tried to gently invite him, the right attitude is to ignore him, but remember not to make a sore or bitchy face and treat it well. 7. Salesperson or salesman. Tell them honestly and polite that The company doesn't need it at this time. Treat yourself with a caution and be ready to help when needed. 8. Elderly or physically disabled guests. Accept it fairly, don't be rude to them. 9. Secretarial family members or close friends. If you want to talk about problems that take a long time, then take them to the guest room. Is it not allowed to chat for a long time during working hours? Apologize and explain why. 10. A guest when the boss cancels an appointment. If necessary, apply for a new agreement to them and explain why your boss canceled the appointment.
To continue explain about office guests by type. Now is about guests according to interest. Guests according in interest, there is 3. Number 1 is guests who come to us for funds or donation. Guests who come to us for an or donation usually want to meet directly with the leadership and for various reasons. The best way to deal with this guest is to continue to serve him patiently and friendly while offering a form that must be filled out by the guest. The form contains the name, address, agency, or the purpose of the donation request for what purpose. Next is guests who come to offer goods or service. In general, this type of guest is very polite and pleasant because they have received skill training in goods or service. But it is not uncommon for seller to ask to meet directly with the leadership. So it is necessary to organize and develop strategies in serving this guest. And the last, guests who want to buy goods. Guests who want to buy goods usually act a lot. They are asked to be noticed, privileged, and even want to be noticed by the leadership. Therefore, take the guests to the purchasing department. Do not forget to offer to guests who want to buy goods. Next is guests of government official. Guests of government official, there is 2. Number 1, regular visiting guests. Usually, they do not ask to meet with the leadership because they routinely can contact certain parties to get information. However, it is better if the secretary gives us a report to the leadership because the leadership wants to meet to ask something important about the regulation that are not yet clear. This will have a positive impact in the future if at any time there is a company interest. Number 2 is special visiting guests. Usually, government official or official come in the form of group or protocols. In this case, the leadership of the company absolutely must welcome themselves and even have to be ready to enter in full clothes. Meaning formal clothes like before the guest to get off the vehicle. The secretary is obligated to arrange the ceremony for welcoming guests so that everything runs smoothly. Serve snack and drinks or moments or souvenirs should be prepared. Next is guest friend of the leader. Here's the explain. Sometimes the leader will be visited by his friend or good acquaintance. Maybe the guest is a business friend or maybe a former school friend. In this case, the secretary must know the guest. Even so, the secretary must ask the superior whether the guest might meet now or not. If the leader is busy, invite him to wait until the leader ready to meet the guest. Now I want to explain how to welcoming visitor office. I've talked about a lot about what it takes to hold a successful meeting, and often what we have mentioned have to do with the preparation execution of the meeting itself. But if you are not doing your best when welcoming visitor and bringing them into your space in any inviting way, it can set a negative tone for the meeting to follow. You definitely do not want to run your meeting off the rails before it even starts.
And next, how to welcoming visitors to office.
We've talked a lot about what it takes to hold a successful meeting, and often what we have mentioned have to do with the preparation and execution of the meeting itself. But if you are not doing your best when welcoming visitors and bringing them into your space in an inviting way, it can set a negative tone for the meeting to follow. You definitely do not want to run your meeting off the rails before it even starts. And there is several things that you should do when welcoming visitors to your office. First, you must know how you can begin to welcoming visitors, which is A. Have someone physically present. In today offices, it is not uncommon for there to be a receptionist or a full-time front desk personnel to welcome visitors. If your office does not employ such as a person, ensure that you set a reminder for 5 to 10 minutes before any meetings to make sure yourself can be there to greet the guest. If it's not possible for you to be waiting, ask someone else who can welcome the person in your place. B. Make offerings and welcoming gestures. Offer to take the guest's cat or umbrella if applicable. Offer them a glass of water or coffee or tea. Making offerings and these kinds of gestures can be visitors feel more relaxed and can also make for a sober beginning to the meeting rather than just getting down to business. C. Have a comfortable and inviting entrance. You of course may not know how to important office layout can be to the overall feel and atmosphere of your office for your employees, but the same can be said for visitors. Plan your entrance area to include comfortable lounge furniture rather than just a few stout chairs. If it is on brand, include warm and bright colors like yellow and orange, and place several plain to one area. All of these things can make people more comfortable going into your meeting. D. Provide the visitors clear instruction on how to find your office. If it's difficult to find your entrance or if there is a complicated sign-in needed, make sure your visitors know this ahead of time. Making office visitors feel stressed or used or panic because they couldn't find your office. It's not setting your meeting up for success. Clearly describe the things via your correspondence ahead of time. E. Ensure you have all the equipment you need. Nothing is worse than conducting a meeting and finding out in the real time that you don't have the correct adapter for their computers and your projector, or other issue with the compatibility. If they have a presentation, offer them to email it to you ahead of time in order to have a backup. Or bring a USB drive to the meeting in case files need to be quickly transferred between devices if you have not corresponded about their technical needs ahead of time.
Secondly, you should know how to serve office guests or visitor in principle. All employees must be able to act as a receptionist. Therefore, the secretary in charge of receiving guests might pay attention. There are many how to service office guests or visitor in principle, but I will explain you 8 things. Number 1 is how the name of the guest, the name of the office, the name of the company, and the purpose of the visit. Number 2, give the most pleasant impression and show the impression so that goodwill is established. Number 3, greet, respect, provide assistance with the right information and provide the best possible service in reasonable manner. Number 4, knowing with certainty what can and cannot be told to guests, like something you can say or something you cannot say to the guest. You will, if you feel confused with that things, you can ask to your superior first. Next, contacting officials who are more able to handle problems brought by guests in accordance with official policy. Next, if guests are forced to wait, create a pleasant atmosphere, like make them smile, make them happy, or something like that. Next is cleverly make choice in accordance with the problems expressed by guests with authority official and can master the problem. And the last, if the official desire but the guest is not available, ask the guest to leave a message, write down the message, and tell the official the guest want. Like something we can say to the guest if the leader cannot join the meeting or something else. Thank you.
Okay, next, the third, there are some things you should do and not do when welcoming guests or welcoming visitors. Things that you should do when welcoming office guests or welcoming visitors. When the secretary welcomes office guests, things should include, there is 5. The number 1 is invite guests to sit in a place of honor, usually the place farthest from the door. Number 2, feet facing guests and serve with a polite sitting posture, sitting sideways, leaning back, legs straighting up is not good. Number 3, when entering a room with guests in it, you should knock on the door. After entering, bow your head to the guest first, then talk to the person in question. Number 4, if the subject of the conversation only needs to be known by the person in question, convey a written message on a pen. Number 5, when guests leave the living room, open the door in a friendly and polite manner. Okay, the next is, then this is the things that you should do not when welcoming guests or welcoming visitors. Things should not include number 1 is unfriendly details. Number 2, waiting too long. Number 3, insecure visitor information. Number 4, insufficient privacy protection. Number 5, far too little VIP treatment. Number 6, no protection of intellectual property. Number 7, missing an innovative look and feel. Okay, for the number 1, unfriendly details. Welcome to our company is a hospitable expression, but one that is seldom heard by visitors. Ensure a customer-friendly reception and ask your staff to give visitors a personal welcome. Practice will make perfect. For number 2, waiting too long. Waiting times are a great source of frustration. Visitors queue up at the receptions, wait for a telephone call to the host, then wait to be picked up. The impression created by the reception determines how visitors will judge your product and service. So, time is certainly of the essence. For number 3, insecure visitors information. Visitors signing in on paper at the reception are also able to see information about others. There's hardly reassuring. Discretion is an important part of the trust you develop with your customers. Go paperless. For number 4, insufficient privacy protection. Parcels at receptions not only look messy, They give visitors a glimpse into the private lives of your employees. Observe all the nature, packaging, and label option reveal the context of private purchase. What impression does that give the visitor of your company's diligence? Store your parcel properly. Number 5. Part 2. Little VIP treatment. Improving the visitor's experience begins in the reception area. Provide water and healthy snacks. Install comfortable chairs and offer guest Wi-Fi so that your visitors can prepare for the meeting. Number 6. No protection of intellectual property. The receptionist hardly ever asks a visitor to sign an NDA. Not only is this a must to protect your IP, it also demonstrates to your customer that you have valuable in-house products and expertise. And for the last number, missing an innovative look and feel. A reception that looks professional and innovative says a lot about your company. A pioneering reception is a good way to leave a lasting impression. Visitors will be wowed by a virtual receptionist.
And here are some tips you can do in welcoming visitors. As the person seated behind the front desk of your office, you are in control of visitors' first impression of the company. Here is how to ensure that those first impressions are positive ones. A. Project professionalism. Remember that you are one of the company's most important assets. As a receptionist, you are gatekeeper, but you are also charged with giving visitors their first taste of the office culture. By projecting a professional, capable demeanor, you imply that a guest experience with the business as a whole will follow suit. B. Greet all visitors loud and clear. While it seems self-evident, plenty of front desk workers mumble their salutation, greeting visitors by saying good morning or good afternoon in a steady, audible tone imparts an air of capability sure to be appreciated by everyone. C. Ask visitor whom their appointment is with. Assuming as a guest is there to see the wrong person suggests infancy, something no one in your business wants that person to feel going into a professional exchange with your company. D. Ask for the visitor's name and not the pronunciation. This way, when you alert a member of your office that their visitor is on seat, you will also guarantee they know how to address the visitor. In case he or she has a name with a unique pronunciation. E. Keep the visitors informed. After you have noticed a college that their visitors has arrived, let the visitors know how you have done that. F. Offer refreshment. If your college tell you they are keyed up on a call or stuck in a meeting and may be delayed in greeting their visitors, offer the guest any refreshment that you may have on hand. Simple acts of hospitality, such as offering a glass of water or a cup of tea, can be nice gesture that serve to mitigate any frustration awaiting visitors may have. G. Know the lay of the land. As the person sitting behind the front desk, you will be the one who's asked where the restroom is, where supplies are located, and myriad other basic questions regarding the office. Be sure you are able to easily give direction to the basic part of the office: lavatory, drinking fountain, copy and fax machine, supply closet. H. Keep your cool. As the person charged with handling those who come in and out of an office, it's likely that you will be thrown into the occasional stressful situation. multiple visitors at one time, several phones ringing simultaneously, question you may not have answered to. Remaining calm throughout any situation is a key in providing top-notch assistance. Visitors to your office as well as your college will keep the fight even if you ask that they wait their turn for your assistance, so long as you always project a professionals can do manner. Asking people to hold on while you find the answer to a difficult question or tackle a high priority task is perfectly acceptable. Remember that you get to regulate the order and manner in which things get done in the front office. By governing the situation, you will be sure not to let it rule you. I know when to ask for help. Though you are the one charged with offering assistance, as the previous example show, one person cannot always be all things to all people. Therefore, ensure that your supervisor slides you train another college on the phones and other front desk tasks in case you need to step away from the area or request assistance in the midst of a high traffic jam. Sometimes just knowing that backup is available if needed can help you perform your job more capably. J. Diversity whenever possible. So you are the one answering office visitors get what they need from the experience. Don't feel confined by that role. Any workplace can benefit from an employee willing to assume more responsibility than ours. Fill downtime with projects that can assist your college, and not only will you stop with the rise, but you'll be sure to continue developing yourself as an asset to your company.
Definitions of office service. Service is the main characteristic for an office, especially for providing information, because with the information, work and decision making can be carried out, while office service are all service activities carried out by the office in the context of meeting needs that can involve both goods and service. Service has two important terms that need to be known, namely serve and service. The definition of serving is helping to prepare what someone needs, while service is an effort to serve of needs others.
5. We will explain you about office service. The logical consequence of the existence of various variation in the combination of goods and service is that it is difficult to generalize service without making further distinctions. So far, many experts have proposed a service or service classification scheme depending on their respective perspective. According to Jeptono 2008, at least the following 8 classification criteria are the most widely used. This classification is market segmentation. Based on the market segment, service can be divided into service or service aimed at final consumers and service or service for organizational consumers. 2. Level of existence. This classification relates to the level of involvement of the physical product with the consumers. Based on this criteria, service can be divided into 3 types, namely rented good service, owned good service, and non-good service. Third, service provision skills. Based on the skills level of service providers, there are 2 main types of service, namely professional service and non-professional service. The main difference between the 2 types of the professional service usually require a certain level of formal education from service providers, and many even have their own professional associations. For service organizations goals. Based on organizational objectives, service can be classified into commercial service or private service, and non-profit service. 5. Regulatory level. From the regulatory aspect, service can be divided into regulated service and non-regulated service. 6. Employee intensity level. Based on the level of employee intensity, service can be grouped into two types: equipment-based service and people-based service. 7. Service provider and customer contact level. Based on this level of contact, service can generally be grouped into high contact service and low contact service. 8. Benefit for customers. In this case, service can be divided into two types. First, for customers or facilitating service. Second, to customers or human service. 6. We will explain you about service problems and strategies. According to Tujiptono 2008, research and literature on service management reveal that service have 4 unique characteristics that distinguish them from goods and have an impact on strategies for managing and marketing them. These 4 main characteristics are known as the IHIP paradigm. First, intangibility. Services are intangible, meaning that service cannot be seen, tasted, smelled, heard, or touched before they are purchased and consumed. Intangible products are believed to be more evaluated, therefore it can cause as a high level of uncertainty and perception of risk. Therefore, to reduce uncertainty, customers often pay attention to symbols, signs, instructions, or physical evidence of the quality of the service concerned. In order to overcome the existing problems, the following strategic alternatives can be carefully considered: physical evidence management, service personalization, word-of-mouth communication management, corporate image management, cost management, and after-sales communication management. 2. Heterogeneity. Service is highly variable or heterogeneous because it is not standardized output, meaning that the form, quality, and type are very diverse, depending on who, when, and where the service is produced. This variability of experience and service quality is due to 3 things: A. Customers' cooperation or participation during service delivery. B. Employee morale or motivation in serving customers. C. Company workload. These factors present their own challenge in any company efforts to develop a consistent brand image over time. To reduce the negative impact of service quality variability, there are 4 strategies that can be carefully considered: investment in human resource management, service industrialization, service customization, and monitoring customers' satisfaction. 3. Inseparability. Problems related to inseparability characteristics can be handled by a number of strategies, including human resource management, managing customers, and managing service locations. 4. Perishability. Perishability means that services are commodities that are perishable, cannot be stored for reuse in the future, resold, or returned. Broadly speaking, each service provider has 5 alternative demand management approaches. A. The marketing. The company tries to reduce demand during peak demand period. B. Synchronous marketing. The company tries to balance fluctuation in demand by focusing on efforts to increase demand during low period. C. Safe request. In this case, the management of service requests of service. There are special exceptions regarding perishability and service retention characteristics. D. Queuing system. Customers have to wait to be served. E. Offers complimentary service. The company develops complimentary service, for example, banks offer ATM, phone banking, and internet banking facilities.
When receiving visitors, the first important step is greeting them and finding out who they are and what they want. The first thing is greeting a visitor. The secretary will say, "Good morning, sir. What can I do for you?" Or, "Good afternoon, miss. Could I help you?" Or, "How do you do, madam? May I help you? How can I help you? Can I be assistant to you?" And the visitors can answer like, "Good morning. I would like to speak or talk to the manager." "Good afternoon. Could I meet Mr. Simpson?" "How do you do? May I see Mr. Robinson?" The second is asking a visitor names. The secretary can say, "May I have your name, please?" Or, "Your name, please?" Or, "Could you give me your name, please?" Or, "Who shall I say would like to see him?" And the visitors can say, "My name's Smith, Tony Smith from Olympia." Or, "I'm Wilma Venita from Avon."
Less formal expression. When receiving a visitor that the secretary already knows, less formal expression may be used that is more friendly. Secretary would say, "Hello, Mitre, what are you doing?" Or, "How come you are here?" Or, "Why are you blah blah blah." Next, if the secretary want to ask about visitor lives, the secretary can ask something like, "How's your family? How's your life going? And how's your business doing?" If the secretary wants to refuse a visitor's request, secretary can answer like, "No, my boss should be able to see you in a minute." Or, "No, my boss should be with you shortly." Or, "No, my boss should be with you very soon."
Saying the person isn't available at the moment. This is I would say if I'll be visitors. My name is Mr. Veneta from Avon. I've got an appointment with the manager. I'm Jimmy Goodman from AEA. Mr. Simpson is expecting me.
My answer if I ask a secretary. 1. I'm sorry, but the manager is just on the telephone at the moment. 2. If you like to wait for a few minutes. 3. I'm afraid Mr. Simpson is still in a meeting. If you like to take a seat for a moment.
Offering to pass the message. This is I would say if I'll be secretary. I will be happy to tell the manager. I will be happy to pass along for the message. I will be happy to give notice of your visit.
My answer if I ask a visitor. Thank you.
Excuse me,
Yes, miss, what can I do for you?
could you help me to meet Mr. Liam Gray, the manager of this company?
Yes, did you take an appointment?
Yes, I did. He himself called me this morning.
I'm afraid you can't see him right now. He is in urgent meeting with a delegation from Singapore, and he ordered me not to allow anybody to meet him until 2 p.m.
It is very important for me to meet him today, as I'm leaving for Australia tomorrow.
Won't you wait for a moment? Let me check with the manager, please. What is your name, miss? And from which company are you coming?
I'm Andi Margastuti, software engineer Bukalapak.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
And the last part is conclusion. A guest is someone who visit a place, other people, or to a banquet. Guest can also refer to as a person or group who wants to visit a company or agency to personal or group interests. Many factors must be considered in the guest reception process, ranging from guest service ethics, the step to receive guests, things to avoid in receiving guests, to the preparation of a guest reception schedule. A special officer in charge of receiving and serving guests is a receptionist. But in small companies, often a secretary also serves as a receptionist. A good receptionist must have special recruitment, ranging from skills, personal appearance, nature, quality, and skills. One way to get a good corporate image is how the company treats its guests.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Anything can I help you?
Yes, I came here today for a job interview.
Are you Miss Tanya Swan, right?
Yes, that's right. It's very nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Are you looking great today?
Oh, thank you.
Your appointment at 10 o'clock, right?
Yes, that's right. Actually, I came here a little bit early, so I have 20 minutes left for preparing my interview.
Very good. Please have a seat and make yourself comfortable. And I will tell Mr. King that you are here.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Tanya, would you like something to drink?
No, that's fine. I have my water. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Anything can I help you?
Yes, I'm Natalie. I came from Pembelajaran company. I want to be your boss.
Good. Did you make an appointment before?
No, I didn't with the magazine. I'm sorry.
Oh, I have to say sorry too because my boss is leaving state now in New York.
Oh, really?
Yes. Would you like to leave a message or make an appointment later?
Yes, I do. When he come back, tell him to contact me immediately.
Immediately. Okay, sure. And I will tell him that you request to contact him.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.
Hey, good morning, Mrs. Choi.
Good morning, Miss Suputra. Nice to see you again. May I help you?
Yes, I have an appointment with your boss at 10 a.m., but now I came early, so...
Okay, my boss is on the way right now. He will come in an office. Please wait at the guest room.
Okay.
Okay, would you like some drink to drink?
I would like water.
Water? Okay, what water? Any magazine?
Any magazine?
Magazine, okay. 1 moment, please. I will pick up to you.
Okay.
Magazine and water, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Choi.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching our learning video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.